We got Maryland in the gold, Alcorn State in the purple. Cold day outside the Xfinity Center in the month of December now, and we are underway.
That was a tough toss right there. It had no velocity on it, but here we go. Man-to-man defense by Maryland out of the gates, and they have been tremendous in terms of their nationally rated statistics on the defensive end, and you have to have a lot of pride. Your shots are going to go in and out, but your defensive effort has to be there every night.
That's been interesting so far this season. There's been an uptick in the scoring, and this team has still maintained the level of defensive play, and that's something that Kevin Willard has been very proud of early on.
Yeah, they're fifth in the Big Ten in terms of their, nationally, in terms of their points off of turnovers, which is just under 23 a game, 24 and a half, and they are disallowing their opponents in terms of getting in good rhythms on the offensive end.
Already a late shot clock start here for Alcorn State. Braves making their move now, looking underneath. It's swatted away by Reese.
Well, see, that tandem inside of Derek Queen and Juju Reese, that's going to be fun to watch.
Here's Reese on the offensive end. He'll head to the line where he's been much better this season. Chatting with some staff before this game, he's improved his free throw percentage by 15 points year over year, and it's more confidence than anything else.
Yeah, and on the other end, look at the defense. Good luck getting a shot off in that area. And then on the offensive end, nice slip cut from the high post by Juju Reese. I like that for him, right? You don't have to contend with sitting on the block, catching it, worrying about double teams coming from multiple angles at you. Get him on the move.
We already avoided the broadcaster's jinx. He sinks the first free throw and the second.
Hey, now.
Start to the day.
High five, and y'all can't see it, but that was a high five. Yeah, I mean, that's good to see. And now Maryland can get into their 2-2-1 containment press, and that has been something that has really been a good tool for them to utilize in the open floor. But they've got to make shots to get into it.
Alcorn State today without one of their primary ball handlers, Michael Pajot, who started this game last year and showed out well against Maryland. So it has been Angelique Gaines-Wyatt leading the way offensively, and down low, Jahi Benet, Frenchman, gets the first 2 points of the day.
Benet got right down in there, and now Alcorn State can apply a little bit of pressure, 2-2-1 as well.
Corner three is good from Selton Miguel.
And that's what Maryland has this season, floor extenders. They have the ability to get spray outs, whether it's off the offensive boards or in push forward situations like that one in the secondary break.
Turn into a quick turnover as well.
Take a look, just the extra pass out of that 2-2-1. They're not trapping out of that, so it makes it nice and easy to go ahead and space the floor to the corners, and that's always where you want to go, whether that's a shot or not. You're going to extend the defense out to the three-point line when you push to the corner in the fast break without the basketball.
Juju Reese backing in, decided size advantage this day for Maryland. You see it in action there between Reese and Queen. There's a massive advantage that they have down low today specifically.
Absolutely, and the synergy already between the two. I mean, Derek Queen is only a freshman. We talked about that, but they have been able to develop that kind of continuity and rhythm with one another, and that's just going to be dangerous as Big Ten competition begins in just a few days here.
Reese cleans up the glass. Gillespie brings it up. Scoring has been so spread out this season for the Terps. They've had 5 different leading scorers in their 7 games. Let's pass to Reese. He's fouled.
But I really love this kind of connectivity between the post players, right? The double team comes to Juju Reese, and he makes a nice little pocket shovel pass underneath. Derek Queen pays it off nicely at the rim.
Miguel pulls up from 3 again. He checked early on after his corner 3, no good.
See, Alcorn State, they're trying to get down here and get organized. Maryland, 11th in the country, only giving up 59 points for their opponents so far in their first 7 games. That's 11th best in the country, and that's a lot of pride. And you know that your team is counting on you to defend that way and hold the rope, if you will, on the defensive end.
Selton Miguel puts it on the deck. Rodney Rice drives. Rodney Rice high off glass, no good. It's 4th straight start now for Rodney Rice as they've had a little switch with Ashawn Harris-Smith going to the bench and coming off the bench in that role. Rodney Rice couldn't make his first shot. Continue to keep an eye on those two as we go through the day. Kick ball in the lane. Lyndon Bussey, the head coach of this Alcorn State team. 5 seasons in charge, 1-time SWAC co-coach of the year.
You can just tell that he was saying we got to sprint back because Maryland is putting pressure in the open floor off the glass or off of live ball opportunities to push pace.
Reese goes up strong, and he will head to the line for 2 more. Connected on his first 2 of the day.
Well, I like that. See, another opportunity for Juju Reese off the ball. Get him in movement and let him attack from that.
14 points last game in the win over Bucknell. 3 for 3 on the day from the free throw line. And that percentage was 72 coming into the day. Last year it was 57.
Right.
And there were moments last year where at the line he just looked lost mentally and in terms of his stroke. But they've spent so much time on it, paying off. And 3 for 4 to start the day. Actually, he'll get another try at this one here. A little bonus.
It could be 4 for 4.
4 for 4 still.
That's right. Get a redo. But he put the time in, right? He and Derek Queen spent 1 year together at St. Francis up in Baltimore in high school. So they have some built-in synergy from that. But they've also obviously been keeping track of one another. They've been working out all summer together. And I love that tandem. As we said, that's really going to bode well for them when they face Big Ten competition that are going to go 2 bigs and 3 guards.
Rodney Rice called for the foul. We'll see that Big Ten play already this week on Wednesday night against Ohio State here.
Yeah, just a complete reach-in right there by Rice, and you just have to get to where the basketball is going, right? You can't go straight to the player.
James Wyatt. Mari Hamilton now in the corner.
Well, you see Maryland's ability to switch 1 through 5 because of the nimble-footedness of the freshman.
And then you could get that from Juju Reese as well. Rodney Rice in the run out, slows it down. Rice around the screen from Reese, and Rice is good.
Very nicely executed. What a good screen assist also by Juju Reese right there at the nail.
11-4 lead for Maryland early on. Shooting 60% from the field. First few minutes of this game. Cross court to Tankersley. Another late shot clock brewing here for the Braves. Maryland defense has been smothering. And another board.
They're right there in front of the basketball. You love to see that level of energy and attention to detail in the defensive end. But these big blocks, that's the first one and probably not the last. It has been a dynamic duo for Maryland defensively and on the offensive end as well.
Home for Thanksgiving break still.
Yes.
Get back to classes tomorrow. Also, it's cold as outside. It is certainly December. It was in the 20s this morning on the way into the arena, but it has been hot offensively inside for the Terps to start. 11-4 lead, and Juju Reese leading the way for Maryland.
Juju Reese has been activated when you see him moving off the ball, and Maryland's ability to find him in motion has really been top tier. And you see now man-to-man pressure by Alcorn State. We've seen a 2-2-1 from both teams early on here in the first half.
Something you talked about earlier, Christy, just not always having Juju and Derek Queen on the floor together. We already see that first look now with Tafari Gapari coming in, who led Maryland in scoring last game, Tafari Gapari.
Right, they have more depth this year in terms of their scoring ability.
Gillespie no good. Reese couldn't get the board. Brought down by Jahi Benet. Had 11 boards last game against South Alabama for Alcorn State. A good presence down low, but outside of Benet, not much size on this Alcorn State side. So it's a day where the likes of Queen and Reese can feast for Maryland.
Right, and David Cox, one of the coaches for Maryland, he said prior to the game, he said they're quick and low to the ground. So we've got to really make sure we're where we're supposed to be defensively.
3 goes down from Gaines Wyatt, but again, it was a late shot clock, again down to 7. Really having some trouble, Alcorn State finding a way through Maryland right now.
And there was a nice ball screen action up top to free for that 3.
Corner 3 for Gapari. Did not quite pick up where he left off against Bucknell, but gets his own miss. Selton Miguel already connected from deep, and he will draw the foul.
Good reset there, and I think that's where Maryland can really gain an advantage on second chance opportunities off the offensive boards. You're going to see right here the breakdown by Miguel, and gets tagged right there. And that's what you want to do. You want to attack closeouts, attack that top leg, and get to the hip. Create that contact.
Jay Young enters for the first time for Maryland. Reese gets the inbound. Juju Reese bullying, backing in. He's fouled.
Yeah, he tried to turn the corner there from the elbow on the strong side.
Already 5 fouls now against Alcorn State. Could be in that bonus pretty early for Maryland. And Benet has already got 2, so he will head to the bench. So the one guy we noted as the size presence in there for Alcorn State already has to take a seat. Mismatch here. Reese takes advantage. Tries to stuff and gets stuffed.
Yeah, that weak side came over and rotated and stuck it to the backboard, and that's what Alcorn State is going to have to rely upon, especially now with Benet on the bench with 2 fouls.
Cameron Foreman coming over to make that block. Now it's Davian Williams. Gains Wyatt. Back to Williams from deep. No good. Board secured by Reese.
It's going to be a possession battle, and right now Maryland is doing their job, dominating the glass.
Already 4 points, 4 boards for Juju Reese. An uncharacteristic turnover there from Maryland. That's been their strong suit this season. Gaines Wyatt driving a little bit out of control, and now he'll slow it down.
Yeah, those long lollipop passes are easy to anticipate in time, and that one was too long of a pass underneath.
Rainbow from Gaines Wyatt and a foul underneath. Scored 2 for Alcorn State, possibly some more.
And let's take a look and see on that previous offensive possession, just a pull-up. A nice freeze dribble, a little deceleration before the rise and fire of it all.
Juju Reese goes to have his first seat on the bench with 4 points and 4 boards. Turnovers, again, that uncharacteristic one we just saw from Maryland. Coming into the weekend, 9th in the country, 1st in the Big Ten in terms of limiting turnovers. It's been a big reason for their early season success, whereas last year they were turning it over regularly.
Right, and that's something that Kevin Willard and his staff have cleaned up during the offseason.
Gaines Wyatt, good early start for Alcorn State. He has 7 of their first 11. We're tied up here in College Park.
Yeah, a little lack of resistance there, to be sure, on that rotation. No resistance at the rim. That was a straight line drive right to the cup.
Jay Young had his pocket picked. Daniel Braster comes away with it.
See, I like the composure that Alcorn State is bringing to the floor.
Williams gives Alcorn State their first lead of the day.
Yeah, they're not afraid of anything, and they may be undersized on the outside, but on the inside, all 5 players that have been on the court for Alcorn State have no fear when they are in attack mode inside.
Eric Queen trying to stop the bleeding. It's a 9-0 run right now for the Braves. Wyatt gets fouled. Clapping it up over there on the bench for Alcorn State. They are engaged right now.
Well, this is what Alcorn State has been able to do. They've been able to attack and challenge and put pressure on the rotation of Maryland's defense. And he was just outside the paint, but if we're in shell drill and I'm counting how many paint points and how many denials of paint points, I'm counting that as a paint point.
Close enough.
He was close enough to the line. You know, that's one of the best drills in basketball. Coaches know. You know, I used to put standards on it, like, hey, can you get 4 consecutive scores in the paint or 4 consecutive stops defensively, and the teams will go at it.
Kevin Willard pacing over on the bench right now. Probably not happy with this start from Maryland, but has to be happy with the start to the season, coming in at 6-1. The only loss to a Marquette team who probably will be top 6 or 7 tomorrow when the rankings come out and are updated.
Yeah, it was a really good challenge against Marquette early on, and you know, we were talking about the size and the rotation on the interior for Maryland, and we saw it on full display against Marquette early out of the gates in this season.
A lone blemish for the Terps. No wins elsewhere. Had that nice come from behind win. They were down double digits against Villanova. A couple of games back in Newark.
Yeah, that was a really solid win for the Terps. Had really good contributions across the board.
Deshaun Harris-Smith on the drive. Foul against Alcorn State, and already into the 1-1.
Deshaun Harris-Smith played his high school basketball at Paul VI, one of the top private schools in the DMV area.
They're showing 7 fouls up on the board. Referees trying to figure it out now, and I think they just did. And it's bonus time for Maryland. Deshaun Harris-Smith should head to the line here.
He's got to come back off the bench there. They do a little exchange.
Well, this has been a struggle for Deshaun Harris-Smith. 56% from the line, 58% last year. Missed those 2 crucial free throws in that loss to Marquette late on. It connects on the first.
There you go. The lefties, both Juju Reese and Harris-Smith, southpaws, getting their free throws down this afternoon.
really taken nicely to this role now, coming off the bench with Rodney Rice starting. And this is the second, but he gives you that defensive presence. He can be a ball handler late in games as needed. So it's a nice little 1-2 punch at that position here for Maryland. Rodney Rice over at the table getting ready to check back in momentarily.
Now, Rodney Rice has a higher percentage from his 2-point ability and threes as well.
Cornelius knocks it down for Alcorn State. A 4-point lead. Queen with the find. Nice run baseline from Deshaun Harris-Smith. That's the vision you were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. His basketball acumen off the charts. The freshman, Derek Queen, as the initiator. A lot like Jokic, Nikola Jokic, who plays for the Denver Nuggets. His MVP in the NBA.
Jay Young up tightly defending on Davian Williams. Harris-Smith comes to help.
Nice switch.
5 seconds to shoot, down low. Going up is Hamilton, no good. Harris-Smith runs the floor.
We have numbers.
Deshaun Harris-Smith, cross-court find. Jay Young, the hesitation. The lob for Derek Queen. And he will head to the line when we come back. It's Alcorn State with a 16-14 lead. The last couple of possessions strong for Maryland.
Oh, Derek Queen with a nice dime to the weak side. And you love to see the intentionality and playmaking ability of the freshman. Dropping dimes down low.
Our State of Success is sponsored by State Farm. Derek Queen at the line. He has been up there among the best in the country when it comes to freshmen this season.
Oh, he's just been so much fun to watch. Just look at his gaudy statistics. 60% from the floor. Ranks third amongst all freshmen. 16 points per contest and 8 boards. So a seamless transition for Derek Queen, and it's effortless for him. When he is such a great playmaker, it just makes it easier, not just for him, but for everyone to kind of get acclimated to his skill set as well.
That's the front end, and we should have known right away because he debuted with the first 2020 game by a Terp since Joe Smith back in 1995. So it was a very emphatic arrival announced by Derek Queen.
Yeah, Joe Smith, #1 overall pick in the NBA during his tenure here, representing Maryland, and Walt Williams also in the building as well, doing the radio work once again this season for the Terps.
4 points now for Derek Queen. He's hit double figures in 6 of the 7 games so far this season. The only exception, Mount St. Mary's game, where he had a little bit of a tweak and did not play his normal minutes that night.
Really good defense, taking away the gaps that Alcorn State is trying to attack, but spun right away from it.
Daniel Braster only played 3 minutes last game against South Alabama. Already surpassing his point total for Alcorn State. Nice little baby hook over Derek Queen.
And you have to take a baby hook or it's going to get sent back, so that was a smart choice.
Queen baseline, nice move. There's the footwork and the acumen you were talking about.
Oh my goodness, it almost reminded me of Giannis Antetokounmpo on that one with those long strides after picking up the dribble. He just extended beyond. That was impressive. Nice body balance with it.
Late gains Wyatt, 7 points for Alcorn State. Another deep shot clock as Queen out there on the perimeter lobs it up. And Gillespie retrieves in the corner. 3 turnovers now.
Yeah, Queen right there.
Rodney Rice from the wing, no good. Halfway through this first half, 18-18 all level inside the Xfinity Center. Amari Hamilton, no good. Malachi Palmer secures the board. The other freshman in this group here for Maryland, starting to see his minutes increase as well. Rodney Rice from the corner, no good. Shooting's been off so far for both these teams with the noon start.
Yeah, but I like that shot by Rodney Rice in transition. He's going to get those, and sometimes even if it doesn't go in, you understand the flow and the rhythm of the shots that you can get.
Not afraid to keep going. Can't get it from outside. He'll take it inside and restore the lead for the Terps.
Yeah, nice 1-2 step there by Rodney Rice. Just get out of the way and then finish nice and smooth at the cup.
4 points, 3 assists last game against Bucknell. Coming into the day, averaging almost 13 per game, mostly because of the outburst he had in that win over Mount St. Mary's. Led the way for the Terps on that night.
Yeah, the last 2 possessions for Maryland, highly effective, sizing up and being patient. But watch the 1-2 step. Just step through. Derek Queen, nice and smooth at the rim for that finish. And then the nice crossover, the 1-2 step by Rodney Rice as he got himself downhill with a smooch off the window.
It's the 5th foul now against Maryland. Alcorn State already at 8. Terps in the bonus. Alcorn State creeping closer as well. Queen on Braster. Braster looks inside, gets Palmer to leave his feet. Reese tried to come over weak side, could not get the rejection.
Yeah, just a beat too late, but that was a moon ball way up and over the outstretched hands of Reese trying to contest that one.
Queen from the free throw line knocks it down.
Very easy for him, and that doesn't get discussed enough, his ability to stretch the floor.
He's got the three-point shot in his game as well. But I haven't really seen it yet.
Right, but look at his feet right here in the press. He cut off the gap, forced to the sideline.
Contest the Braster shot, taken down by Palmer. Rice for Reese, goes up, and it will be a goaltend.
The ability of Juju Reese, as well as Derek Queen, to get up the floor like gazelles in transition, that is going to be a bonus for Maryland. Look at the push. Push with the pass. Find your guys in motion. You see the goaltending right there. That's how you can gain extra possessions as well. The ability of Maryland to get the stops necessary, whether it's off the glass or with steals in the open court. They have their big guys that can move up and down the floor. Got to send it to them.
They had gone cold. Terps now 5 of their last 7 from the field. Back up by 4, under 8 remaining in this first half. Binet for Hamilton. Another single-digit shot clock. Terps are really making Alcorn State work for these shots, and most are contested.
Yeah, they're right there on the pass, meeting shooters with the stick arm.
Rodney Rice finally drills it from 3.
Maryland needed that one. Gain a little momentum. They're getting the stops, but they haven't been able to pay it off on the other side. Rice with a nice one from range.
Missed his first 2 from beyond the arc, then he made that contested layup. It gives you a little confidence, and he makes the 3.
Absolutely, a little double drag action, and then a weak side stagger. Alcorn State trying to free their teammates up here, but Maryland shoring up those gaps. Rodney Rice sitting right in a stance,
Shot
closing
clock
it down.
Down to 3 again. From distance here, Gaines Wyatt, no good. I don't know if we've had a single possession since the last media timeout where it hasn't gotten a single digits for Alcorn State. Just smothering defense. Now the run out for Young, and the Terps are on a run, up by 9 after this 9-0 run.
Yeah, push with the pass. That'll get you some momentum. Good, nice blocks right there at the cup by the dynamic duo of Reese and Queen.
Binet with 2 fouls, trusting him. Here's Llewell for 3, no good. Reese was fouled on his way up, and he will make the walk down to the free throw line now.
Maryland doing a tremendous job of sharing the basketball, a little inside, outside. Reese outside to Rice. And then in transition, Maryland finding
Sunday afternoon on the Big Ten Network with the DC Sports Hall of Famer Christy Winters-Scott. I'm Joe Malfa. You're going to have to increase the caffeine intake now with all these triple headers, by the way. And maybe you needed some more this morning because it was a slow start for Maryland, 5 of 13, 5 of 5 since.
Yeah, and a 13-2 run currently. You got to shake loose that tryptophan from the turkey and the mac and cheese and all that from the other day. So both teams trying to get acclimated to getting rid of all that.
Reese connects. I'm still full, by the way. I don't think I want to eat for the next 72 hours still.
Yeah, hey, listen. I was away from my family. I love y'all, but I'm gonna cook tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, I did some FaceTime with the mac and cheese. I heard that went pretty well, but you know, mom's got to go ahead and do what moms do. I gotta go ahead and finish one for the family tonight.
Juju Reese 6 of 6 from the free throw line today. We talked about it earlier that he's up 15 points year over year from the free throw line. Having himself a good day today. Hamilton runs into some trouble, kicks it back out.
Yeah, Derek Queen is doing a really good job out of their 2-2-1 press, taking away the sideline. His big presence with those long arms and legs, taking away space. That's the perfect spot for him in that set.
Big collision. Initially, the call is against Jay Young for a block. He hit the deck hard.
Oof, it looked like he hit his head also with the reverberation after the initial contact to the floor, trying to shake it off. You see right here, Alcorn State trying to set. Oh, he got hit. Oh, he didn't hit his head, but his head did go backwards. He hit the front of his face right there, and the chest hit him right in the forehead. Oh, my. He's gonna get himself together on the bench for a moment. I think he's all right. That was a pretty rugged hit there.
Keep an eye on him the next few minutes. I'm sure he's all right over on the bench. Just took his seat.
Well, Maryland right now really doing a great job of dictating what they want Alcorn State to do. And that is why they've been able to get that 13-2 run.
0-5, their last 5 shots, Alcorn State. Meanwhile, Maryland's got on their 11-0 run. Their success at the other end. Another late shot clock, another contested look, another miss for Alcorn State.
Solid box out down inside by Rodney Rice, too.
3 minutes scoreless for the Braves. From the baseline, Rice connecting.
Yeah, his game is so smooth, stops on a dime. In that dunker spot, that short corner pinch post area.
His sample size was just so small at Virginia Tech because of the injuries, limited to under 10 games. But in those games, he showed what he can be. He was regularly scoring in double figures. Injury cost him last year. Now the transfer to Maryland.
Yeah, but Maryland has done a tremendous job on the glass. Look at the box out. Rodney Rice getting a body on, maintaining contact, and then the pitch back pass to Rodney Rice. A little hezzy, and then a pull up in the mid-range. 10 toes down right there. Nice job squaring his body on balance so he could just go up in a cylinder and drop that one home.
He gains Wyatt, misses the first, he leads away. 7 points for Alcorn State, but this drought continues here. Thought you might be able to bust it from the free throw line. 0 for 1 so far. Scoreless drought that has reached 3 minutes and 22 seconds for Alcorn State continues. Unlikely. Source says, well, he's a 75% free throw shooter. When it's not falling for you.
Nope.
Gillespie push off.
Yeah, he was doing all right until he got that arm up, that arm bar that made contact and then extended right there. And that will get you a foul every single time. Use your feet in that same way. You can protect the ball, but you got to use your feet in that same way to attack closeouts that way.
He's averaging 13.6 per game in his first year here at Maryland. Transferred from Belmont after a breakout season for the Bruins last year. Averaged over 17 a game. Can do it from deep. He can drive. He's got a big physical presence. Could have also been a football player. Had offers from some power conference schools. Chose basketball. And now here at Maryland.
Yeah, swift feet for sure. And then we were discussing Maryland's depth, and they have a couple players who have been out with injury coming into this one.
Gaines Wyatt has a chance to make amends after he was empty at his last trip to the free throw line. Scoring drought now 333 for Alcorn State. Connects this time.
You're going back to the injury situation for Maryland. Geronimo, he's not in, and he's day-to-day. You had a chance to speak with him about that?
Day-to-day hamstring, they're calling it, but he's getting close. Just a matter of getting that swelling down, and he'll be on his way. They expect him back soon. Then some bad luck for Braden Pierce. Had a facial injury earlier, and he was able to shed the mask, but picked up another facial injury in practice this week.
Oh, man.
Good ball movement here from Maryland. From the corner, it's good. Jacoby Gillespie showing you what he can do from outside.
And that's the difference maker for Maryland this year. They have strikers from range. They have the ability to score on all 3 levels. And then you have the dynamic duo, again, on the floor together right now with Reese and Queen. I like that balance that Maryland has on the offensive end, headed into Big Ten play soon.
Reese swats it away after Queen was chasing Cornelius all around. Miguel the run out, Gillespie back to Rice. Miguel in the corner for 3, it's good. Everything about that for the Terps was what you want, and now the lead is 18.
Blocks and buckets for the Terps. Oh my God, please get him.
Over our way
you
there.
You had me, right?
I got you.
I closed my eyes because I couldn't push the mute button fast enough. Golly. But anyway, nice kick to the corner for that triple. And Maryland got that block to get that break going.
I had you.
Man, listen.
My hand was up
eyelid,
here.
I'm holding my eyelid down. My eyelid is twitching. He was coming 100 miles an hour. That was not good. Lord. I'm glad I'm over here and not out there, because wow, I never took a charge. I never took a charge as a player.
Really?
No, but that would have been my first. If he, kept coming through the table, that would have been my first.
I might have called a block. I don't know if your feet were set under the table there.
No, since I never got one as a player, I'm gonna mark that as my only one lifetime charge.
Full court pressure now from Alcorn State. 17-point lead for Maryland that really snowballed quickly. It's all happened over the last 4 minutes, a 19-2 run. Gapari from three, he knocks it down. The shooting is contagious right now for the Terps.
Yeah, the floodgates are open from range for Maryland right now. They have gotten into their flow and rhythm, and it has happened because of their defense.
Athleticism there from Gapari, keeps it in play. Deshaun Harris-Smith, Selton Miguel off glass.
Great connectivity and sharing of the basketball. Selfless play at the rack right there.
Gapari led scorers for the Terps last game against Bucknell, 19 points. He's a freak athlete, but he's also polished as a basketball player. He's had to bounce around a little bit, started his career at UMass, then Georgia Tech, now home at Maryland, where he originally looked in his first spell of recruiting, ends up at Maryland in the end. Another board for Reese.
He just glides in the air, Juju Reese.
Jay Young for three, no good. Reese again the board. Reese backing in, goes up strong, will head to the line. Terps doubling up Alcorn State right now.
Yeah, Maryland has been on the run because of their staunch defensive effort. 3 balls are falling. They are getting them to snuggle home in that net, but it's been the transition for me and the selflessness in the open floor for the Terps.
Shop every team in town, college and pro. Come on, it's time to go.
Big Ten fans, shop Rally House for the best selection of Big Ten team gear. From the newest arrivals to the most popular styles, there's gear for every fan at Rally House.
Jerseys, headwear, fit for a win. Shop the latest.
This groundswell of offense for Maryland.
Another day where the ball's being spread around as well. It had the big one over Canisius. 7 different players reached double figures. Right now you've got 4 players knocking on the door of that. Selton Miguel with 8, Juju Reese with 8, Rodney Rice with 9, Derek Queen with 8. You've got 8 players who have already scored in total. So another day where it's just sharing the basketball, spreading it around. Juju Reese again at the line. Misses for the first time today. He's got 8 points and 8 boards.
Hey, Angel Reese. That's his mom. And I know that his sister is also Angel Reese. They have different middle names, but I played against Angel in college.
There's a lot of similarities between the way they play.
Very similar. Caught a lot of bows, but they were all. She did too, though. So let's be clear. No, I'm just joking. No, she was a tremendous player, and she was a lot like Angel is playing now. A tremendous player for the Chicago Sky. Obviously, started her career here at Maryland with Brenda Fries and finished it at LSU, winning a title there.
Deshaun Harris-Smith getting his chance now. Close out this half with Rodney Rice going to the bench. Reese approaching a first half double-double. 9 points, 8 boards. Misses.
But I like that move for him. He can get that shot down, and you know he's not just a back-to-the-basket player. He's trying to show that.
Gapari continues to showcase the athleticism. Hamilton for 3, no good. Another opportunity here. Cornelius, back iron. Gapari gets the board.
Yeah, Gapari, 2 great stops in that possession. First with the block and then with the board.
Deshaun Harris-Smith up strong, doesn't get the roll. Reese the board. Reese lost it.
He just got to go straight up with it. That dribble killed his momentum.
Gapari again contesting. Nice finish at the other end, though, for Amari Hamilton. Timeout from Alcorn State. Deficit is 19 at the moment. Gapari really gets up there whenever he has a chance to set his feet like that.
Well, you think you have it free and easy. No, you do not. Gapari said, well, what are you thinking? That's getting sent out of here. Nothing free and easy in the paint. Big block by Gapari. And that's on the perimeter. So that's a high post area. So you think you can just pull up, and you can't.
Coming up, stay tuned for the halftime show presented by State Farm with Kylan Mills, John Beeline, and Trent Meacham. I'll get you caught up on everything going on around the conference. The last day that we could say non-conference play for now, right? Get to that Wednesday triple header into the early window of conference play before a little hiatus, and then we get into that gauntlet of a 20-game conference schedule overall in the Big Ten.
How about that? Purdue, the reigning champs of the Big Ten tournament last year, 4 new teams added into the conference to create a little more spice to it all, and I can't wait for jump ball of the Big Ten conference season.
Selton Miguel gets his man flying, now pulls up, left it short. It'll stay down here for Maryland. So it'll be Wednesday against Ohio State at home. And then you mentioned Purdue, the reigning champs.
Yes.
That's next weekend for Maryland, going at Purdue. Really good test.
No, I love that, and that's what you want early, especially in conference play.
Eric Queen, you know the vision he's got. You saw what he saw there, just didn't quite execute.
Yeah, he's been in the weight room because that thing had some ferocity on it and went right over top. Kevin Willard will take that. I mean, that's better than a live ball turnover. Okay, it's just a miscue in terms of execution. The recognition was 100% correct. That great skip pass, that would have been perfectly placed, right?
5 turnovers in this half for Maryland. That's been uncharacteristic and maybe something that Kevin Willard would want to address in the locker room at halftime. Their philosophy has just shifted so much this year. They'd rather put up a shot than have a turnover, and he talked about it after the last game. They sat with an analytics person to kind of go over that in the offseason as to why, especially this year when you have better shooters, and you also have those 2 guys in Queen and Reese who can get you the board even if it's a low percentage shot. So they're trying to cut down, rather take a few extra shots, and we've seen it so far today.
Right, and David Cox told us that they get one to drop for Alcorn State, but he said, hey, we're old school with it. We don't want to really rely and lean too much into the analytics, but when you do look at it, it makes a lot of sense.
Queen tries a little hook. We saw it on display last game a lot. Pushing the floor the other way, Luell. Amari Hamilton has a dribble, sets his feet and knocks it down. Nice little run here for Alcorn State.
Nice patience right there by Hamilton, and in transition is maybe where Alcorn State can get some buckets like that so they don't have to really contend in the quarter court with the double-edged sword on the interior, whether it's Kapari and Queen or Reese and either of those 2.
9-0 run for the Braves after that last time out. Selton Miguel pulls up. He gets a very friendly roll. We are in the holiday season here, and it stops that 9-0 run.
Thanksgiving, that rim was giving, giving 3.
Shot clock turned off. One last shot that Alcorn State can hold for here. Terps 48-31, they lead. They'll fall short of the 50 mark, which they've hit 3 times in the first half this year. But another strong offensive first half. And Alcorn State ended on a high note, no good. And that will do it for half number 1 with Maryland up 48-31.
Well, I just thought it was impressive defensive attention to detail that Maryland, I want to look to measure that as this game continues to evolve.
Scoring balance there, as you saw, with Selton Miguel leading the way. 11 for the Terps that are underway in the second half. Glad to have you with us alongside Chrissy Winters-Scott. I'm Joe Malfa. Juju Reese on the doorstep of a double-double. He is 1 point and 1 board away, and he will head to the line.
You just see Juju Reese right there just losing his body balance. You understand what he's trying to do. He's in a crowd, as he should be, but he just looks like he's leaning and he's outside of his cylinder. Just imagine if he could just get low, get stabilized, and make that same move. That could be an and 1 moving forward this season for him.
From the line today, 7 for 9. He's gotten there often, and you look back at last year, all those single possession games that Maryland lost, and you go back and you look at the box scores of those games, how many points were left on the table for free throws for a guy like Juju Reese, who was always banging bodies down low. This year, again, 15 percentage points higher this year over last year. Right. That's going to be crucial getting into Big Ten play now. Yeah,
he most certainly has to do that. And then to that point, you have Alcorn State in that first half outscoring Maryland in the paint, with Maryland having a height advantage. So it doesn't matter necessarily the height, because their perimeter players are getting a piece of the paint and getting straight line drives to the cup. 16-14 advantage there.
And also a testament just to how diverse in the attack they are this year, Maryland, where it could be outside, it could be in the mid-range, it could be those 2 guys down low. You never really know who it's going to be or how it's going to happen for Maryland.
No doubt, and they have such a great complement. In that first half, 6 of 12 from 3 was Maryland. So you have 6 of 12 from outside, and then you have the dynamic duo inside, but they've got to be able to complement those 3s falling.
A couple of quick fouls in the second half against Alcorn State after Gillespie swiped it on the inbound pass. Gillespie tracks it down, and they set up in the half court.
Little pin down on the strong side, looking for a dribble handoff with Reese slipping.
Good vision from Rice. All right, Hamilton got in the way of it. Selton Miguel was open. Hamilton drives, goes up strong, and he will head to the line for 2. Another instance where you can see the vision from Maryland, but it just didn't quite end up in the execution.
Right, it looked like a little zone there from Alcorn State coming out of the halftime locker room with something different defensively. But that skip pass, you got to put some height on it or Miguel's got to go ahead and lift up and empty up to that free throw line extended area and come and meet that pass, so you don't have to throw that long lob.
Mari Hamilton makes the first, 83% free throw shooter. Junior from Brooklyn, transfer from the JUCO level.
Going back to that Maryland offensive possession, you know, you've got to shorten passes, and if your teammate has picked up their dribble, it's up to you to move to come and get the ball. And that's how you can thwart those kinds of turnovers on the offensive end if you're Maryland.
Jaleel Gaines-Wyatt led the way in the first half for Alcorn State. Another turnover.
It looked like a travel anyway before he turned it over. I think he got sped up right there. Maryland, again, clogging those gaps, and that's what gave them that big 28-4 run to end that first half the way that they did.
Eric Queen, a nice little touch pass over the top there to Gillespie. Gillespie splits through, Gillespie goes up, and still battling down low. Reese finds his way to the ball and to the free throw line. That possession changed a couple of times down low there on the baseline.
I want to see Juju go up and get shot out of a cannon and then crush that on a body in there. And he has the ability to do it, we've seen it. But you see Gillespie right there just losing a handle, a lot of deflections going on down in the mud inside that restricted area. Juju Reese is going to head back to the line.
It's 11 points for him now on the day, averaging 13.3 this season. He's getting into a nice zone now in terms of the all-time scoring list for Maryland. His points today have moved him into the top 50 all-time. And if he stays healthy this season with his current per-game average, he'll end up as a top 20 scorer in Maryland basketball history.
He's just had a phenomenal career, right? We've seen him exponentially improving in different aspects of the game throughout his career here in a Maryland uniform.
15 double-doubles last year, was second in the Big Ten. And he drops this one, 9 of 11 at the free throw line today. Pardon me, 10 of 12 after that one.
Got you. Again, a 2-2-1 for Maryland, doing a good job of taking away the middle and that second line so they can't pass it up. So if you're Maryland, you kind of like the fact that they have to dribble up against your 2-2-1. Can't find any gaps to pass to.
And how about that? Reese just wrestles it away. Caught asleep there at the top of the key. Tyson McDaniels, he just snatched it.
Yeah. Take a look. Juju Reese sees the ball, ravenous for it, and said, oh, I think I can get that, and he did. And then the grab afterwards and the whistle.
Already 4 fouls in this half against Alcorn State. Maryland got into the bonus early in the first half. They seem to be on their way again. Eric Queen, nice find in the corner. Miguel drives baseline. Queen puts it back, gets the roll. It wasn't clean, but it got through.
Hey, listen, he was up there, so we'll give it to him, but I want to see him go up there and crush it down on somebody's neck, too.
And that possession, another illustration, just a pass to the corner initially to find Miguel, and then the ability to finish on the putback.
Absolutely, but against that zone, that's what they have to do.
Gillespie up top, and Jay Young throws it down. You've been asking for somebody to go up and crush it down. I don't know if Jay Young is the one you thought would do it, but he answered your call.
Somebody do it. Hey, feed that young man at the rim. You'd love to see the pace of play for Maryland getting opportunities off of their ravenous defense.
Every season, we give it all.
Welcome back to College Park. Gillespie up top to Young, who pulled some screws out of the rim on this lob in transition. Maryland has been able to get their running game activated here in College Park on this Thanksgiving weekend, but they haven't stopped pace, and they've been able to push tempo because of their stops on the other side.
The lead is 23, the run is 6-0 Maryland. You and I just learned something, by the way, because we looked at each other. We thought that might have been Kapari down there or Stelton Miguel. We didn't know Jay Young could get up like that. And now we know.
Yeah, Jay Young has some kangaroos. He was up there really quick and swiftly off those 10 toes.
Swat at the other end from Miguel. He's listed at 6'2", Jay Young, but if you see him standing amongst some of the other guys, it feels like a generous, box score 6'2" more than anything else.
Right.
Well, now we know.
And it's the inside, though, and his ability to get up there. That was fun to watch.
Jaleel Gaines-Wyatt has been held in check after a really good start, and I don't know if it was a pass shot, whatever that was, it worked out in the end for Listenby throwing it down.
because Juju Reese rotated over there and opened up that backside.
Selton Miguel continues to lead the way now with 14 for Maryland.
He's doing it all. He's the initiator, giving up the good for the great passes in transition, and then getting his own buckets to drop.
If he continues to lead Maryland in scoring today, it'll be 7 games, or rather 8 games, with 6 different scoring leaders for Maryland. They just continue to spread it around. Nice look down low again for Listenby. But so far this season, you've had Queen, Reese, Rice, Gillespie, and Gapari all lead the day in scoring for Maryland. Right now it's Selton Miguel. Gillespie for Miguel, trying to tack on 3 more. No roll. On the board by Alcorn State.
Looked really good. Miguel squared his body up. Contest came late.
Deep 3 from Cornelius, knocks it down.
In transition, and that's what Alcorn State, again, needs to look to a little bit more. So they don't want to fight down low with Queen and Reese in there. You see Queen trying to free himself for a touch, trying that 2-man game inside. Nice patience here.
Miguel, no look for Reese. Couldn't find the handle. Alcorn State comes in 0-8. You see that, and that's jarring, but you go through their schedule, and then they've played already against a Big Ten team in Washington and hang in there with them. A decent showing, and today, like, there's been spurts where they've had some success. It's a team you look at once they get into SWAC play under head coach Landon Bussey, who's been a co-coach of the year in the SWAC, and you see some pieces for this team, especially considering they're missing Michael Pajot, their main ball handler, today as well.
Yeah, especially Maryland has been using their press too, and an extra initiator is always good.
Foul against Maryland as Cornelius tried the drive, and that is a break time here in College Park. A 19-point lead for Maryland. 3 straight field goals hit by Alcorn State trying to claw back in College Park.
Every season, we give it all. We give our...
Behind those shots in their secondary break, in transition. He plants himself on the strong side corner, and they've been finding him early and often, and he's been paying it off.
It's a breather over there, Selton Miguel. Also, Rodney Rice checked out now. 4 fouls. I don't know if we'll see Rice again today or how long we will see him. Brasser just barely gets it in on time. Cornelius. Davian Williams. Mari Hamilton calling for it in the corner. All of a sudden now he leads the way with 10 points for Alcorn State after this latest run. Cornelius with 3 to shoot. He's fouled. 3-point shooter fouled with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Cornelius will head to the line for 3.
Alcorn State is still outscoring Maryland in the paint 20-18. It's because of the guards' ability to get downhill. So when you get downhill and break teams down, you can also get those 3s to fall. There's a little high 5 action there. Tag on the follow through. Cornelius's hand.
Coming off a career high, Cornelius 24 in that game against South Alabama. Did it all from the 3-point line, excuse me. He was 8 of 21 from beyond the arc. He's double figures in 3 of the last 4 games. Transfer from Jackson State. Cornelius now with 8 on the day. Another free throw coming.
They've been playing tough. They're scrappy. And speaking with associate head coach from Maryland, David Cox, prior to the game, he said, hey, we're going to have to match that level of fire and intensity they bring to the floor. We have to be efficient with our size and speed and the advantage that should give us in this game.
The intensity is welcome for Maryland going right into conference play Wednesday night at home against Ohio State. You want a team to come in and have this sort of intensity, not just lay down and concede. Look at the records, look at the conferences, right? You don't want that. You want to be tested. Eric Queen with 6 to shoot. Likes that baby hook coming inside if he can get it. Fades away instead. Doesn't get the roll.
I don't mind him missing that because, his nimble feet right there on that move. I like the confidence and the dribble bump to create space down there. He had the whole package right there on that one possession, even though he missed the shot. I like the skill set display.
The confidence that comes with that, too, that we've seen the last few games. He's not afraid to fade away. He's not afraid to put that baby hook up there. He's showing more confidence with each passing game.
Yeah, they're setting him up nicely on the ball side block.
Put back from Foreman. Closest since it was 36-21. 10-0 run now for Alcorn State. Down low for Reese, goes up strong. Reese puts this run to bed.
Yeah, very nicely executed. A double team situation came to Reese's attention. Kept the ball nice and high. All he had to do was lift it from his forehead up. He had it all the way up here. All he had to do was shoot it. Didn't bring it down.
12 points, 11 boards now for Juju Reese. So another double-double for the Terps senior. That one caught nothing but net, but the wrong way. Outside of the rim, and good gather on the baseline here. Shot clock didn't reset, though. Did not catch any rim. 2 to shoot. Queen smothering. Can they even get a shot off? They did, but it's no good. And a fumble on the baseline there. Turned over by the Terps.
Just a little miscue right there. Couldn't corral that one. Palmer lost that one right out of bounds. But here's Juju Reese. Catches it high, keeps it high. Fundamentally sound basketball post play 101. Executed to perfection by Juju Reese right there at the cup.
Terps right now credited with 7 turnovers. Uncharacteristic of them, but this is characteristic of Julian Reese. 25 career double-doubles now as he takes his seat. He's come close on a couple of games this year where he was either a point or a rebound away, so he's still been filling up the stat sheet.
Yeah.
Another 3 put up by Hamilton, no good. Malachi Palmer wrestles away the rebound. Gillespie pushing the tempo. Awkward shot that he puts up. Remains with the Terps still. Board underneath by Gapari.
Really smart.
Reset now.
Really smart reset. Get that ball back up top. Now they can get some screens. They're blitzing a little bit, a little shadow coverage.
5 to shoot. Derek Queen's got to make a move. Spins, drives, puts it up. Ends up going to the free throw line. Still ahead, the Hoops triple header continues when Penn State hosts Buffalo, followed by Nebraska against North Florida. That's all still ahead right here on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
I love the Big Ten app. Everybody's on the move these days, so easily accessible. Get on your app and watch these great games and get to know all the new faces on a lot of the teams across the board, especially with the 4 new teams entering the conference.
You're going to want to know, too, by the way, so whether it's on the Fox Sports app or whether it's on television, you're going to want to know all these teams because 11 Big Ten teams were either ranked or receiving votes this week. So when it comes tournament time and you're talking about which conference has the most teams in the tournament, there's a decent chance right now it's shaping up to look like the Big Ten. So you're going to want to get on the app and make sure you know everybody from every corner, East Coast to West Coast now as well, and everything in between.
No doubt about it, and some really great freshmen across the board in the Big Ten. Looking at one right here, and Derek Queen being on the floor for the Terps.
Queen contesting it, swatted by Gapari. Out to Gillespie, and Gillespie will jam it down. Terps back up by 20.
That's how you pay it off on the other side. Oh, blocks and buckets. That's what I tried to tell you. You'd love to see that. 4 blocks in that first half alone, and that one was a monster right at the rack. Little double drag action here by Alcorn State. Once again, they love to go to that.
Another 3 from deep, and it's knocked down by Keontae Cornelius, who is feeling it.
And that was a deep, deep 35-footer.
He is 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, but at the other end, this from Gapari.
Yeah, beat that out of there, and now you can go the other way. Look at that big block, stuck it to the window, and then pay it off on the other side. Tear it off in transition. Terps up. Presentation. This is big, and we were talking about how we are just so excited for the Big Ten season to begin in just a couple of days, but that's why, because you're going to see that kind of exceptional display of competitive fire and teamwork across the board, on and off the court, and that's why the Big Ten Conference is so special. Speaking of special, Maryland right now, 16 assists on 21 made field goals. Highly effective and efficient on the offensive end. At great balance, inside, outside. I'm trying to see who that went off of. It looked like Queen hit it last. That was close, but they're going to give it to Alcorn State.
And it will be the 8th turnover of the day against Maryland. They average 9 per game this season, so they're going to be right around their average here if they keep it clean down the stretch, which again, that is 9th in the country and 1st in the Big Ten coming into the day. They've been really good when it comes to taking care of the ball. Baseline drive, kicked out, back to the corner for Hamilton. Again goes baseline, kicks it out, 3 to shoot. Good movement here from Alcorn St, but they can't get a shot up. Braster now has to hurry, and at the buzzer they get it off, but no good.
Yeah, a little zone there by Maryland. They did a good job of shifting while the ball was in the air, and that is the key to good zone defense. Good man defense as well, but especially in the zone when you're guarding a space instead of a specific person.
Right now in this second half, it's actually tied 16-16 in this second half, so Alcorn State has been hanging around.
Yeah, Alcorn State has been hanging around, but Maryland, they've been hanging around, meeting every pass, regardless of whatever defensive scheme they have set. Little 14, a little 1-4 flat set on the out-of-bounds under.
Queen finds an alleyway to the hoop and puts it down. 14 points now for the big man, 4 boards, 2 blocks as well.
Queen, king, whatever, crown him because he is getting the job done. 5 of 8 from the floor for the freshman, Derek Queen.
Something about Derek's in Baltimore right now. Derek Henry, the Ravens fans will be watching later. Derek Queen here in College Park right now.
The Eagles in town to take on the Ravens later here in the DMV.
Well, the last DMV Philly matchup was Terps Villanova.
There you go.
Weekend ago, and Terps came out on top with that one. So Ravens fans tuning in, good news for you, and good news for Malachi Palmer burying this one from the corner.
Yeah, Maryland still staying scorching hot from range, and they're doing it by making the extra pass. We were just talking about their assist numbers, right? You'd love to see the fluidity on the offensive end with extra unselfish passes being made like that. Swing it to the corner.
Swatted away by Gapari. Look how high he got to meet that ball. Long outlet for Gillespie. Finds the handle and will settle it down. Derek Queen goes up and under. It's a foul, I believe, on the floor.
Yeah, good patience by Gillespie. He didn't force the issue. But look how high he gets up to get that one well above the rim, just disallowing any jump shots. Good luck trying to take a jumper in front of him.
Foul was on the floor, but it is 1-1 time now for Maryland. 69-49 lead. It's been a nice day for Derek Queen. 14 points, 4 boards, couple of blocks, 3 assists. It's that elongated stat sheet being stuff. You talked earlier about Nikola Jokic as he connects here on the first.
Yes.
What does Joker do? It's the assists, it's the blocks, it's the steals, it's everything. He's filling out every category, and you're seeing that today from Derek Queen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Associate head coach David Cox explained to us the similarities because everyone's kind of saying, hey, Derek Queen is like a young Shaquille O'Neal, and you see that when he's in the open floor. You see a little Giannis Antetokounmpo as well, but the Nikola Jokic comparison, I'm intrigued by that because you cannot speed up the Joker. You cannot speed up Derek Queen in that same way. So it's the basketball acumen. It's his ability to stay patient. And as a freshman, that's so impressive. But his basketball IQ is off the charts. And David Cox also said he finishes sentences, as he said earlier, in timeouts to complete plays. So he has a really great understanding of not just his role on the court, but everyone else's too. So schematically, he understands the assignment for the group as a unit.
Here he is again, lobs it down to Gapari. Wasn't looking, but turn around right on time. And it'll be Maryland's ball underneath. So Derek Queen, just one of the prize freshmen that we have in the Big Ten this season. You've got a couple of different guys whose names you've become familiar with or have to become familiar with. Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Will Riley. It's been a good year for freshmen in the Big Ten.
Yeah, no question about it. And Ace Bailey, man, if you haven't seen him play, he has got some wheels on his feet. He is so quick. Not just speed baseline to baseline, but his thought process. And these freshmen, that's why they're cut differently. And you'd love to see freshmen come in prepared. So kudos to the high school coaches, the AAU coaches who spend hours in the dark gymnasiums and the hot high school gyms in the summer, putting in that extra work because you see the benefits of that, the fruits of that labor with those fine freshmen in the Big Ten.
Selton McHale comes back in, was leading the way for the Terps with 14 points when he sat down. No longer the case because Derek Queen's got 16 as he's at the line again for a 1-and-1. It's a quiet 16, it feels like, for Derek Queen, just coasting along, and that's what we come to expect out of him so far in the opening month and change of the season.
Well, that's what we were talking about. You can't speed him up. He's going to do what he wants to do. He's very methodical. And when I say that, I mean he is a thinker on the court, and you have to respect that. You can't speed him up. It feels like he doesn't have 16 because he's not forcing the action. he's just going with the flow. He's like an artist in that way, just calm and smooth like the ocean.
And associate coach Dave Cox actually said to us, they were actually kind of wondering around the staff, would he be able to play at his own pace when they played Marquette and when they played Villanova, those steps up in competition?
Absolutely.
And they left those games looking at each other. Yeah, he can. He's done it, and that's what they're excited about come Wednesday against Ohio State in Big Ten play.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's ready for the moment for sure. And his name has been really talked about a lot here early on in the college season.
Put up by Hamilton, still leading the way. On the other side for Alcorn State, Jay Young for Derek Queen. 7-0 run for Maryland. Queen has mostly done it himself here in this run. Trying to gain position down low. Selton Miguel instead up top.
Still in that zone. Queen, good job of screening that back line to try to free up Harris Smith for that triple try.
That would have been an important one to fall for Deshaun Harris Smith. Get his confidence going again, shooting from the floor.
Look at this defense.
James Wyatt goes by, and Queen tried to clap it off the glass just over him. Nice finish at the rim by James Wyatt.
Sometimes when you're on that weak side, sometimes you have to trust your speed, and it's different for everyone. But you got to be at the basket line.
Oh, no look on that one from Derek Queen to Gapari.
That was one of those Magic Johnson hee-hee, like, oh my gosh.
Sound effect included.
Big fella with a nice dime drop. That was sweet. Derek Queen bringing all of it to the floor. Full display.
He's got 18 now. 24-point lead for Maryland. Now he swats that one down. It's a 2-on-0. Miguel and Gapari. It's a Farah Gapari will throw it down. Largest lead of the day for the Maryland Terrapins. Seven points today for Gapari after he led the Terps with 19 against Bucknell. Had that big poster dunk in that game as well. That stood out. Did this one with a free runway. Foul against Deshaun Harris Smith, but the Terps now have their largest lead of the day at 26.
Maryland off and running in transition. Oh, go ahead and send it over and then take flight. Up high, down hard. Terps up big. The right way, that's the right way. Give the ball to your open teammate. There's nothing more beautiful than having someone with the heart for the game and the passion for the teamwork of it all. Maryland, 20 assists, yes, on 25 made shots. So we're talking highly efficient as well with those numbers.
Deshaun Harris Smith to Selton Miguel. No good.
See, that was another great pass, right? Sprint to the corners, space the floor.
Braster from the corner. Board secured by Young. Outlet to Gapari. For Gapari, he was looking up to see what he could do next, and he lost the handle, but it will remain down here for the Terps.
You got to catch it first. In his mind, he was already elevated. Levitating. Yeah, watch right here, the push ahead pass by Young. And he was looking at the
He's
defense.
smiling
That's
too.
why, when you're racing in the pool, you don't look and see who's racing with you. You go straight to where you need to go. You got to catch that ball first, though, for Gapari.
Harris Smith, good find of Gapari. Bounces, Queen looking, goes up. That's a goaltend.
Yes, it was. But nice fight on the offensive glass, and that's what Maryland has done well, too, in terms of winning the battle of possessions. That's how you win games. Here comes Queen getting that one-handed tip away, and then there's the tip away for a deuce. Goaltending.
A 13-2 run over the last 4 minutes for Maryland. We've seen it today, and we've seen it so far this season. They've responded to runs from the opposition with runs of their own. They've done a good job of that. We saw Alcorn State cut it to their tightest deficit since early first half, midway through this second half. Terps responded with that 13-2 run ever since. Benet can't get it to go. Queen gets his board.
Yeah, they've been able to lock in on the defensive end as a unit, and you love to see that.
Jay Young looking for Queen in the lane. He's approaching his career high. Here's a freshman at 24 against Marquette, has 20 in this one, Derek Queen. And he's approaching a double-double as well. He's got 9 boards. Young Queen lob, and that's another goaltend.
Yeah. But that's that transition has been so good for Maryland. A 16-5 advantage in the open floor. Queen with a little touch pass to the weak side. Goaltending yet again for Alcorn State. Getting up to the pin house to try to clear that one off.
Derek Queen, 20 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, partnership of pear tree. He is stuffing it up today. Holiday season time in December.
Yeah.
He is obliging. Sean Harris-Smith now a 3-on-1. He takes it himself, and he buries it.
That was the proper play. In the spacing with his other 2 teammates, that was the proper play to make. He had that foot fight to the rack 1. A little back screen, ball screen action coming with the double stagger on the weak side. Alcorn State has some really good sets.
Shown flashes today. Gaines Wyatt himself has as well. Misses this one. Sean Harris-Smith sets his feet, puts it up, and gets it to go. These are the moments here when you have this lead in your favor. Get some guys confidence, and he needs it. He buries it. 13-0 run from Maryland. Kapari wants a long outlet. He's already at this other end of the court. Sean Harris-Smith gives it up to Jay Young. Jay Young knocks it down. Maryland 10 of 21 from 3, shooting the lights out of the Xfinity Center today.
Yeah, as they should. You see the home crowd here enjoying this offensive firepower and this display from range. Back-to-back triple tries for the Terps. Size it up and knock it down. Harris-Smith gets that first one to go. And then shoot the leather off the ball. If you're the Terps, let it fly from range and knock it home. Another triple try goes in for the home team.
Alcorn State takes a timeout. The run is 16-0 right now for Maryland. Largest lead of the day at 38 and counting here for Maryland. And Derek Queen, like we talked about moments ago, he is stuffing every category of that stat sheet today, leading all Terp scorers with 20 points. And take a look at some of his best moments from the day.
Well, Derek Queen has just been spectacular in terms of his shot selection, number 1, his ability to space the floor. He saw him, the recipient of a great pass, but just look at his footwork and the fluidity off the bounce in the mid-range. I mean, this is a freshman. Are we clear that this is only a freshman? And the upside is, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be really exceptional. And it's a
Previous
little scary
goaltending
when you
plays
think
on the
about
review.
it.
6:45 is confirmed.
Goaltending play, each of the last 2 were just under review, so they are just going to double check those. It's pretty clear from where we sit. But
It did, but yeah, they have to just make sure and adjudicate the proper call.
And Derek Queen, at this point, where you're starting to think of Big Ten play, right? And that's the chat we had with Associate Head Coach Dave Cox earlier. It's a different game in the Big Ten. You alluded to it in the first half. Smaller opponent in Alcorn State. You're going to have different matchups come Big Ten play. How is that going to change things for him getting into conference play?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, opponents have to guard them as well. So you don't just want to say, okay, they're going small, we need to go small. No, if they're going small, you have an advantage when you go big. They're taking a look to see if that is a goaltending. And I believe that it'll stand, but they're going to
Goaltending
adjudicate,
call
as we
at
said, but
5:54 has been overturned. It's a legal block. 2 points have been deducted from Maryland's total score.
All right, well, there you go.
okay.
Hey, we're not wearing stripes.
Maybe
We're wearing green and
because
pink today.
It hit the backboard, yeah. Wicked colors, we were told by your wife. So that's pretty funny. But no, I think because it hit the backboard first, and I think that's why that was the issue on that one. And I think that's what they're explaining to Kevin Willard and Derek Queen, who is also huddled in to listen.
For Derek Queen, though, today, it's 4 20-point games. That's tied for the second most freshman 20-point games at Maryland since 2008-2009. So he just continues to stock up on some of the accolades very early in his career.
Yeah, Derek Queen has just been phenomenal. He's the only player besides another freshman, Rutgers' Dylan Harper, to have 4 20 or more point games as a freshman, counting this season. And it's just been so much fun to watch these young guys get out here and just and have some fun with it. And enjoy the process of learning on the fly. When you're in the game, you get that real-time experience to make the proper decisions, and they're making them, and that's what's so impressive about it.
Yes, Sunday, February 9th. In case you were wondering, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Derek Queen, same court, same time for
go.
Maryland Rutgers.
Let's go. Circle that.
Sean Harris-Smith heads to the line. 8 points today, quietly, the 1-1 here. Terps, he's got 3 boards, 3 assists. He's taking to this role nicely, and you and I chatted pregame. It's almost becoming reminiscent of another recent Terp in Darryl Morcell, where early in his career, he wasn't knocking down the shots, but he was good defensively. He was good ball handling, good locker room guy. And then he grew throughout his career, accepting the role, becoming that glue guy for Maryland. And what was that year that never happened, right? 2020, COVID cancels the tournament. He was that glue guy that was going to carry the team. That's what Deshaun Harris-Smith kind of has those vibes of so far as a sophomore.
He does. And David Cox, associate head coach, said as much. He said he's a hard-playing guy. Like every single possession, he's going to bring that energy. Quick feet, high hands on the defensive end, and also his ability to attack on the offensive side.
Ready to shoot. Cornelius trying to weave through the lane, gives it up, ball loose, and a shot clock violation. Kevin Willard clapping it up over on the Terps bench. So many late shot clocks today for Alcorn State. Another smothering defensive performance from Maryland, up 36. We'll take you to the conclusion when we return here in College Park.
Get a great deal on the vehicles that winter is no match.
I love that stat the most, and as a coach, I'd always look to that. Like, what's our plus minuses? What is that looking like? And how are we sharing the basketball? I mean, that has to be at the top of the list in terms of how you want to play, what your culture is. And Maryland has displayed that it's an unselfish culture here.
Derek Queen, Juju Reese have taken a seat. Seems like their days would be done. So Queen, 20 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, a couple of steals, couple of blocks, and Juju Reese, double-double, 14 points and 11 boards. So some other time to shine now for a guy like Tafari Gapari, who is, again, showed that he could be another option off the bench as well. At 19 last game, and today he's got 9 more of his own. And he could do that at the rim as well.
And another block. He has been phenomenal, rotating over as the help side.
Rodney Rice knocks it down. That brings him into double figures. So for the Terps, you've got Rice with 12, Deshaun Harris-Smith with 10, Miguel with 14, Reese with 14, Queen with 20. Another day with 5 different guys in double figures, and Gapari's right there with 9 of his own.
Yeah, it's just been across the board. You see Derek Queen excited for his teammates, and that just speaks to what this game has been for Maryland. They have been together, unified on a string on the defensive end, unified during timeouts, cheering for one another, encouraging each other, and that's what you want to see when it comes down to it.
And this is just the first of our 3 games in this triple header today. Buffalo and State College take on the Nittany Lions coming up next on the Big Ten Network, and Nebraska, North Florida to cap off the day. As we enter December, we enter conference play this week on Wednesday with another triple header that begins right here in College Park with Maryland hosting Ohio State. It's that time of year. It's the holidays. You're with family. You're eating good. You're also watching great basketball.
Watching hoops and having fun with the presents. And when I say presents, that's with the C and not a T.
C, yes.
Yeah, we make sure we get that corrected. But yeah, that means a lot.
3 to go here at the Xfinity Center. Terps closing in on 100 again. They have been finding ways to score, and Gapari another rejection.
Man.
He got a smile on his face doing it as well. Still battling down low with Benet.
He's still working. He's like on a pogo stick down there. Quick second jump off the floor. Gapari right here sending yet another shot back. Just great timing. You can pump fake all you want to. He's going to get it again. And it's the facial expression for me, like, come on and do it again. I'm still right here. I love it.
Coming in today, Terps averaging 85.4 points per game. It's early. It's been non-conference, but that number was already good enough for what would be the 6th best in program history. And now you take a look at the points per game in the country. These are the leaders. After today, Terps are going to be joining this list. So the offense is clicking. They've always had a defensive identity under Kevin Willard, but this seems like the year where maybe it's all married together.
Yeah, it's married together because they have depth. They can bring big lineups on the floor. They can go small, but they can go 9, 10 deep onto the bench and not lose a beat.
Given away by Deshaun Harris-Smith. Gapari, another block at 7. He is approaching a double-double with blocks and points. Kapari, 9 points, 7 blocks, 6 boards.
He's flirting with a triple-double.
Triple-double.
About to mess around and get a triple-double with all these blocks. 7 of them. That one sent right to the window. He just has impeccable timing and his ability to get off the floor without creating any body contact. And that has been so much fun to see, and the fans here love it.
His third school in 3 years. Injury last year at Georgia Tech opened the door for him to start the last 9 games of the season, and he showed out in those 9 games. Almost 8 points per game, 6 boards per game. Filling it up here on the stat sheet today. Has to get a little bandage over on the bench.
He's hit the deck a couple of times. A little floor burn. Worth for the wears out here. He's a toughie. He's been playing really, really well, bringing all that experience to the floor for Kevin Willard and his group.
At the line, Cameron Foreman knocks it down. Foreman today, just 3 points to go with 2 boards. Player who's trying to carve out a role here for Alcorn State as they head into conference play shortly as well in the SWAC. Battling over the rebound, Kapari says, look what I found, and now he's got 9, 7, and 7.
Little change found in the couch. Got it. Little high ball screen action here with Harris Smith. You see Alcorn State trying to blitz and rotate. They just got a steal from that activity on the defensive end last time.
Harris Smith cornered, gives it away. Back to underneath by Murphy, and he gives it away.
He got sped up right there, just got into the game and just dropped it to that weak side a little too quickly.
Ben Murphy, just a beloved player here.
Yes.
Gets in here and there. Always bringing it full intensity in practice. Helps everybody else get better, and that's the praise that gets heaped on him. You saw it there, that little back steal after the initial giveaway from Deshaun Harris Smith. 1:38 to go. Terps up by 38, and they will bring on another. They will bring on Lucas Sotel, and this crowd is going to implore him to shoot every time he touches the ball. He hasn't really given them what they want so far this season.
His teammates are going to get him some touches. See if he can launch a couple before the buzzer goes off. Yeah, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's your time.
He's taken 2 shots, he's missed them both. Crowd wishes he's taken 20 shots this year. You already heard a couple of people yelling shoot there when he touched it in the corner. Now Stevens pulls from 3. No good.
But I love the opportunity that they have, right? It's kind of a thankless job when you're kind of on the scout team or, you know, working out everyone else to get prepared, the iron sharpening iron, if you will.
Coming into this week now for Maryland, it's home against Ohio State. They travel to currently 13th ranked Purdue before a little bit more non-conference as we end 2024. But the 2 big ones, obviously, Ohio State, Purdue. What do you want to see more of from Maryland going into those 2 games?
I want to see more of the dynamic duo with Reese and Queen on the floor a lot, especially against Purdue. I want to see how teams guard that, but I also want to see them continue to refine their synergy with one another and making the proper reads. I mean, they each found one another on high-low looks or little dump down passes.
Some no look?
Yeah.
Having fun with it?
Yeah, why not? Like, I love that. So I'm going to see more of that as Big Ten competition begins here next week.
And we saw more of them in that marquee game against Marquette. So now as you get into those opponents again in Big Ten play, you expect to see those guys out there a lot more. And in that game, don't forget, again, this is going to be a Marquette team that's probably ranked 6th or 7th when the polls come out tomorrow. Yep. Maryland was right there with them, tied game late, had a chance to win it before falling at the very end. A game that had a ton of lead changes back and forth. So their one true big test, they passed it so far.
Absolutely, and now they have big tests every night.
Every single night.
B1G test every night, and that's what you want if you're Maryland and just trying to get that on-court live game experience for your crew. Murphy
comes up with it. Shot clock will stay on, but for a couple of tenths on that clock. So as it winds down, Terps up 38. It is going to be their 5th 30-point win of the season. That ties a school record for most in a season, going back to the 98-99 season. So that's already in a season, and the Terps have done it here in 8 games as they improve to 7-1. 96-58 the final over Alcorn State. Dairy Queen led the way with 20 points, and the Terps have another victory here in College Park going into conference.